So if you have a drone, you've obviously got to have some way to carry your drone. Now, of course, there are the regular cases that come with DJI drones, but sometimes you want to be able to carry more than just what fits in one of those bags. Sometimes you want to have other camera gear along with your drone, or sometimes you just want something that you can throw on your back instead of having to have this case strapped around you all the time. And so in that case, what you need is some kind of a camera backpack. Now, I've used quite a few different backpacks over the years, and they all have their upsides and downsides. So when Brevite reached out to me asking if I wanted to try their jumper backpack, I was excited to get to try out yet a different type and form factor of backpack. And by the way, while Brevite did send me this bag, they're not sponsoring it, they're not paying me to say anything about it. I can say whatever I want, and they don't see the video before I post it. Now, when I initially got this backpack, I was a little bit surprised by how small it is. It's not a super huge capacity backpack, and I was a little bit worried that it might be too small to do anything with. But then I realized that actually many times when I go on a trip, I love to bring like all kinds of gear with me. I usually bring way too much stuff. But then when I actually get to where I want to go out on some kind of a little adventure, a hike or something, many times I don't end up carrying my whole backpack anyway. I'll almost always actually take a smaller bag or backpack with me that I can just throw in what I need for that particular hike, that particular adventure, so that I don't have to carry around pounds and pounds and pounds of camera gear. So this Brevite Jumper Backpack is the perfect thing for that, and you can actually fit a lot more in it than you would think. And I actually just finished shooting a wedding where I packed essentially everything that I needed to shoot the wedding in this small backpack except for my drones. I had 2 separate cameras, multiple lenses, I had my audio gear in here, headphones, batteries, chargers, all that good stuff, and you can even strap a gimbal like this RS2 onto the side of the bag. So let's go ahead and see how I would pack this bag for a typical outdoor adventure with my Air 3 kit and basic camera gear. So unzipping the main compartment here, we've got access to it from the top. I've got my dividers in here already sort of spaced out for what I'm going to be putting in here. And you also got access to the side for whatever you put right here on the side. If you want to put your camera here or something, you can very easily access that. So to start with, I've got my drone here. This is the Air 3. This is my #1 drone that I like to use for just general purpose shooting and adventures. It is quite a bit heavier than the mini series, but I really like having the 3x telephoto camera. Just opens up a lot of different options, and it also flies a lot faster, is a lot more wind resistant. Just all in all, I like it a lot better than the smaller drones. So we can just stick that right in here. It's got plenty of space for that. I could put another little divider in here, but it fits in there pretty well. And then here I've got my DJI RC-N2 remote. This is a great remote. Obviously, it's a great remote. Anyway, I definitely recommend getting one of these, especially for more outdoor adventure type of stuff, because you don't have to have as many random things that are floating around and get lost from each other, and you have to pack and unpack each time. You can just pull this right out of your backpack, fire it up, and get going very quickly. And then I've got my camera. This here is an old camera body. Typically I would have my Canon R6 Mark II with a 24-70 f2.8 RF lens on it, but that camera right now is actually shooting the video that you're watching. So instead I just have an old camera body and just stick that right in here. As you can see, I made this just a little bit tighter than I probably should have. And typically that 24-70 lens is actually going to be the main lens that I'm going to be taking with me. But you could also throw in here a couple other lenses. These are just some random lenses. Typically, maybe the other lens that I would throw in here would be a 14mm f2.8 or maybe a 50mm f1.8 like this, 85mm f1.8 or 35mm f1.8, which is on that camera right there. So as you can see, you can fit a good bit into the main compartment here. And usually what I will take with me is drone, camera, a couple lenses when I'm just going out for an adventure and don't just want to have everything with me just in case. And so then of course I've also got my ND filters here, very important. These are the Freewell split ND filters. I'll link those in the description. They are my favorite ND filters for the Air 3. We've got a pouch out here where you can stick a whole bunch of stuff, charger, ND filters, all that good stuff. I'll also link to the charger that I use for the Air 3. I always like to have that with me. And then of course here we have the charging hub and the batteries. Can't really fit them in here because I've got a camera and everything in here. If you didn't have such a big camera rig, you probably could fit it in there. But you've got this whole space up here near the top where you can fit in a whole bunch of stuff. In this case, I'll just throw my battery pack in there. You could also throw, I've thrown headphones in here. You could throw a jacket in here, some snacks, whatever you want to throw in there. Nice to have that kind of pouch. And there are also some more internal pouches and stuff in the backpack if you want to just throw extra stuff in there. It's always nice to have for, accessories, cords, SD cards, tripod plates, whatever. And then as I mentioned, you actually can take and strap onto the side here RS2 gimbal or whatever kind of gimbal you use. Just stick it down here in this pocket and take the strap over the side like this and hook it on just the length of the strap depending on what you got. And there you've got your gimbal secured in there, not really going anywhere, so you can go hiking around with it if you want to have your gimbal with you on a nice little excursion. Now we also could set this up if you're not so much into regular cameras, more just into drones. You could set this up to hold a couple drones. For example, let's say you want to have your Air 3 and also an Avata for FPV. We could just take and pull out these lenses and this camera body, and then got my Avata 2 right here. We could stick in here, actually, probably. Let's see, I don't know if that will quite fit. No, it's a little bit tall to go in there, so that is one of the disadvantages of having such a flat backpack like this, or smaller backpack. You can't fit things vertically in here like this. You could figure out how to make it fit horizontally, but that won't fit in there quite as cleanly and nicely, and you can't fit as much other stuff in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my batteries here, and I'm going to stick them somewhere in here. For now, I'll just stick them right in there next to my remote and the drone. And then I can go ahead and, let's say, put the Avata 2 up here in the top. Fits in quite nicely. And then we can find space for these goggles. I can tuck them right in. I think I can tuck them right in here. Well, there we go. We'll just adjust our dividers a little bit because the Air 3 doesn't need quite so much lengthwise space. So then we can just tuck our goggles headset right in there. And then we just have to find a space for our remote. Might be able to tuck it in here. Well, I would actually probably go ahead and put the remote up here in the top with the Avata. They should be pretty happy there because there's not a whole lot on the Avata that's going to be damaged by having a remote floating around in there. And so there you go. We've got both of those drones in there. As you can see, it is a little bit crammed. You actually probably could rearrange this a little bit better to get it to fit all better. But if you want to be able to carry around 2 different kinds of drones on a hike or some kind of trip, it's possible to do that as well. Sometimes you don't want to have one bag slung off of one side of you and then another one slung over the other side, and it's kind of choking you. Sometimes it's nice to just be able to put it all in one nice little compact backpack. So guys, there you have it. That is how I like to pack for excursions on location, and also kind of my review of the nice little Brevite Jumper. Pine green is the color of this backpack. Oh, and also, of course, there are affiliate links to this in the description. If you want to get it, please use those affiliate links. It does help to support my channel. And guys, if you want to get more cinematic shots with your drone, it doesn't matter how fancy of a drone or backpack or accessories or whatever you have, if you don't know how to use it, you won't be able to get beautiful cinematic drone shots like you see from DJI and everywhere else online. So to learn those skills that you need to get pro-level drone shots, I actually have a completely free 45-minute drone filmmaking training that you can find down at the link in the description. Again, it's completely free, and I go through my top 10 secrets to getting cinematic drone shots. And you can also find linked in the description my drone settings checklists for both the Air 3 and Avata 2. And again, I'm also giving those away completely for free. Or if you do want to go even deeper, I do have an entire 10-hour drone filmmaking course. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like for the algorithm and subscribe to the channel for more videos on how to get cinematic shots with your drones, reviewing different gear related to drones and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video.